I am making a video about this telescope which I added to my collection about 2 weeks ago. I picked this up at my local market and I thought it was different enough to warrant making a video about. Anyway, this is a naval or maritime telescope. It measures 18 inches from end to end. It was made in England, in London, by the firm of Henry Hughes and Son, which my research tells me was established back in the 1830s. This particular telescope dates from about 1920, 1922, thereabouts. And it is a type of telescope known as an officer of the watch or officer on watch telescope. They were very common from the late 1800s up to around the 1950s, 1960s. So this one made in the 1910s, 1920s would have been right at the peak of that. These telescopes were very different from most naval maritime telescopes that you might see online in museums and stuff like that. Mostly because of the shape. If I zoom out, you'll be able to see just how long and how thin it is. I mean, you know, hell, my finger is longer than it is wide. So it is a single draw telescope, meaning it has one draw tube, which comes out the end here like so. And the other end has a sliding glare shield for the protection of the lens from rain and sunlight and stuff like that. So that just pops out like that. And the barrel is covered in leather. Anyway, the telescope is so long and thin because these were designed to be used by officers of the watch. Ship's officers had to take watches. That means that they had shifts of work, usually 4 hours on, 4 hours off. And what that meant was that when they were on watch, they were up in the wheelhouse or up on deck or up on the bridge. And when they were on the bridge, they needed a telescope suitable for use in confined environments, because the bridge of a ship is not always the roomiest place around. So, and you know, they would have other people there with them. They would have the helmsman, they would have lookouts, quartermasters, all that kind of stuff. So they couldn't have some massive 3-4 foot long, you know, heavy 3, 4, 5 draw telescope on them. So instead they carried these. They're lighter. This is very light. This is, I'd like to say it's under 500 grams. It's very easy to hold because it's so thin. You know, I can virtually spin it around on my fingers. It's so thin. So that makes it very easy to handle. The fact that it's thin means that even if you're wearing gloves, you can grip it easily. The leather cladding makes it easy to hold onto when your hands are wet, which would happen on a ship at sea. You know, there's water everywhere. The sliding lens shield at the front would prevent rainwater and sunlight from glinting and splashing on the glass, so you could use it outdoors. And the short length would mean that you could swing this around the cabin, around the bridge, around the wheelhouse, without hitting someone else in the head, which I think they would appreciate very much. So you compare this, like I said, which is it's only 2 feet long when it's fully extended. So if I slide that out like so, you see it only goes out so far. And you compare that with what I'm going to bring out next. So this is another naval telescope, and you can see it is much, much larger. If I put them side to side, I would say that this one here is another 12 inches long, maybe. So this will be about 3.5 feet, because I know this one is 24. 3.5 feet. This one is 2 feet from end to end when fully open. So you can see it's quite a bit smaller than the usual size of naval telescopes. Apart from the size, it is constructed and works exactly the same way as its larger cousin over here. Anyway, that just about wraps it up. Thanks for watching the video. If you want to find out more about the stuff which I like to collect, then check my blog. The link is below. Thanks for watching, and comment and subscribe.